In this video, I want to share with you a very practical framework that I kind of took from Jeff Bezos and developed myself to make sure I make the best decisions possible and I move forward as fast as possible. Because something that I've faced, which you've probably faced as well, is this feeling of moving slowly, of the inability to execute on things because we're overthinking, right? And I want to start by saying there are two types of decisions, as Jeff Bezos said as well. The decisions that can be reversible and the decisions that we cannot reverse. And an example of a decision we can reverse is me right now in this new office that I'm in. I just moved out. You've probably, or you can watch my earlier video. It's my first time moving out of my parents' house, and it was a decision that can be reversed. Let's say things don't work out, the business fails, I don't have enough money. I can go back to my parents' house because they'll welcome me anytime and they will provide me with what I need. And if I succeed on the upside, then I move forward and I gain massive success, whether that's more money, more knowledge, etc. Right? But the thing is, if I stayed stuck here in my parents' house and I didn't make the decision to move out, right? Like, I would have guaranteed that I would stay in my comfort zone, I wouldn't do anything special, and this would sort of decrease my chances of gaining the success that I want, which I will color in green, right? So again, moving out this here is a reversible decision that isn't, let's say, risky. It is risky, but there's a safety net, which is going back to my parents' house. And then the irreversible decision is, let's say you own a business, right? And you have, let's say, $1 million saved in this business. Now, let's say you want to make a big move, and this big move requires for you to use all of this $1 million. And if it works, if it succeeds, then this $1 million investment can give you a $10 million return. And if it fails, right, this can cause you to lose your business. Now, every time you want to make a decision, you want to first figure out whether this decision is a reversible decision or an irreversible decision. And this is very important because oftentimes we think that the decisions we're trying to make is irreversible when in fact it is reversible. So I think the first thing we want to think about is, okay, is the decision reversible or not, right? This is the first thing. Now, once we know that if the decision is reversible, then it's better to execute on it, to fail, to take action. And if it succeeds, then of course we get the benefits. If we don't, it's cool, we fail, but then we try and take more reversible decisions. Basically, with those reversible decisions, you have infinite chances. You can keep going. Whereas with irreversible ones, this is where you should stop and you should think more, right? And you should sort of visualize the pathways that can happen when you take the decision, right? If I go on path B, then it will open up path B.1, and then B.1 opens C.1 and C.2, right? It's this whole decision tree that can happen. So this is where you should spend a lot of time just thinking. Now, there's another concept that I've been meditating about, and it is something I learned by taking a lot of those reversible decisions and executing on them. And it is this: we as humans, right, this is us, this is our size, and this is our brain capacity. This is how much our brains can contain information. Now, all of this is a small part of the world, right? And our capacity, what we can fathom as humans, what we can learn, is only this. And this being part of the world, right? If we multiply this times 1 billion, this is the size of the world and the size of everything in this world. Even more, like 1 billion is nothing. There are $1 billion. Do you know all the serial numbers of these $1 billion? And those $1 billion are part of a larger economy that contains euros and dirhams and whatever. And this is just in the financial world, and the financial world exists in humans, and humans exist on Earth, and Earth exists on this planet. And the universe is just huge. And oftentimes we get this bias that this little brain of ours understands this much, right? And this is the danger of ego, first of all. And so because we have this ego, we think that we know enough. And oftentimes we get stuck in this phase here, this is us, let's say, thinking about whether to do this reversible decision or not. And oftentimes it's better to just skip the process of thinking about the reversible decision and just doing it. If we have a feeling that tells us, okay, like this decision is reversible, there is no big impact on it, it won't affect your survival or your reputation or anything that can make your life worse, right? Then do it, right? Do it, because if we keep stuck in this thinking phase, we program ourselves that we understand everything. So in this case, what I learned is that we should just execute on the reversible decisions, because when we do that, right, we go from having this small brain to having a slightly bigger brain. Whereas if we stay stuck thinking, we keep the same brain knowledge capacity, and we won't move forward, we won't grow. And therefore we'll get anxiety. I talked about it in one of my earlier videos. If you stay sad and keep on thinking all the time without taking any action, you will fall into anxiety, right? But when you take action, when you get into flow, this is when anxiety just fades away, right? You start working on something, and the next thing you know, you're almost done with it. And this is the power of action, again. And to give you an example, before moving out, I thought a lot about the process. Like, is this a very risky move? What will happen? Will I get away from my family? Will they stop loving me? Will I get alone and get scared? La la la, right? All those fearful emotions inside of me, just overthinking it. But then, like, I spent, let's say, 2 months thinking about it, but within 1 week of taking action and going to look at apartments and get to know more about moving out and experiencing it firsthand, this is when I gained the most growth and experience and knowledge. Because when I was overthinking, this was me, the small dot. When I took action and learned more about it, this dot grew, right? And now that I moved out and I experienced the benefits which overweighed the cons of moving out, so the pros overweighed the cons, then me just staying in my parents' house was pulling me away from me getting to my goal, right? So this is the goal. This is the arrow, the target, whatever you want to call it. And me staying in my parents' house would have made it way harder to reach that goal. Whereas when I moved out, which is me here, I came closer to the goal. Right now, I have more focus, I have more energy, I don't get distracted with my family. I moved out with my friends and all of them are working, are hustling, our positive energies are contagious, and it helps us just work more and focus more on our career. And at the same time, it even improved the relationship with my parents, because I'm not living with them anymore every single day, seeing them for hours on end and just getting furious about the problems they have. So instead, right now I spend quality time with them, a few hours each week, and this quality time is way better than the 50 hours, let's say, that I spent with them every week. So right now, that's like 5 hours, I can say, I spend with them, and the rest of the 45 hours is time I've gained to get closer to my goal. This is one way to look at it, and of course this 5 hours outweighs the 50 hours. So this is an example of my current experience of the importance of just taking action and labeling. So to summarize this, right, first of all, sorry about being messy. First of all, we wanna, let me use red. When we have a decision to make, we want to decide whether it's a reversible decision or an irreversible decision. And if it is a reversible decision, then execute on it as fast as possible. But if it's irreversible and might cause you to lose something big in your life that you cannot take back, then you gotta think about it more, give it more thought, try to simulate the pathways and things that can happen after you make the decision until you do it, so that you don't be like, oh, I haven't thought about this enough and right now I lost everything, right? And for the reversible decisions, let's say you fail once, you fail twice, and then 3 times, then on the 4th time you succeed. And with this time, let's say it takes 2 months to succeed. If you spend 2 months overthinking, you're basically not experiencing anything. You're not growing your knowledge base, and therefore you're just wasting your time. As simple as that. So I hope this was valuable to you. Peace.